We don't have that much time to waste, and there's some obvious red flags that I don't know. You may be aware of, maybe you're not, but certainly something you need to be aware of.
Did you push record?
Thanks for tuning in to Second Act TV. I'm happy to welcome Joni Lerner back to Second Act. Joni, thank you so much for joining me again.
Absolutely. I love being here, and I love your viewers, by the way.
Oh,
Awesome.
I love my viewers too. And they
They're
love
very
you
interactive
too.
and positive. It's really cool.
We have a great audience. So, yes, they love you too. And if somebody's watching who is not familiar with Joni, Joni is a transformational, easy for me to say, transformational strategic life coach, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's all about getting unstuck and moving forward and getting momentum in life. So
Exactly. You also have a terrific podcast, Spiritual
thank you.
Aliveness with Joni, also filled with just great information on living your best life. And, as we are in this space now, the over 50, a lot of that is finding someone new, finding, love again, et cetera, et cetera. And we've done other segments on dating and what you need to know or watch out for, and we'll link to those. What I really would like to concentrate on in today's segment is some red flags to watch out for. So I read a couple interesting articles, and maybe I'll draw on those about red flags that you might get while when you're first online dating, and then let's talk about some red flags when you're maybe a little bit down that relationship road again. One of the first ones they say is dating profiles with no information.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can actually extrapolate this into real life. If somebody's not giving you information, it's for a reason. Either they're not proud of who they are, or more likely they are not who they say they are. So I ran into a lot of red flags. I learned very quickly, and I thank goodness I had a younger sister who had online dated before, and she's like, "Oh honey, that's a serial dater, dump him now." I'm like, really? So there was an innocence to me dating after so long, and I didn't make myself wrong for it, or a naivete in a way. Now, online, you have these amazing people, these regular, wonderful people who are seeking, an honest relationship. They're seeking connection. They're seeking companionship and that kind of thing. Then you have the guys or girls that troll. They're looking for money. They're looking for, let's say they're incredibly introverted or whatever it is, the reason they can't have a relationship in person, they're going to draw the relationship out online. So that's a huge red flag too, is if they won't talk to you on the phone, like almost immediately, you want to have a conversation. Never, never, never continue a relationship without having a conversation and hearing their voice and who they are and that. But even then, they have people they hire that could be in that category, and they'll just work you. So you have to be really, really astute.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a good point. It's not just that this is not a person worth pursuing if they don't offer information. They could be a scammer. So yeah,
Usually.
big red flag. If there's no information of any substance in the profile, just go past it. So that's the first red flag. Just go past all that. The other, say, okay, so you're going to go on the first date,
Hmm.
and maybe you're on a second date. But all of a sudden, everything is moving just way too fast, too much too soon. What does
They
that
want to
mean?
move in 24 hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a huge red flag. There's a neediness underneath that. There's a fear of loss underneath that. They want to latch on. If somebody's confident, then they'll know that if you're supposed to be together, you'll be together. If this is your person, then that will organically unfold. But if they're very needy and they need that, then they may just want to like literally move in within a few months. The other thing is taking that a step further. And this is really, it's a whole nother category. But if they really want to be with you all the time and they begin to want to control your movements and who gets to see you, and they start to cut out and cull you from your friends and family, that's way At the best, that's way too controlling. At worst, it could develop into abuse or, something really dark. So,
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That's another red flag. One of the articles when you're
mm,
going down a relationship road is they want to be with you 24/7.
yeah. Look. Okay, look. What I love being with my guy 24/7 now, but we built a foundation. And the fact that I love him and he loves me and we enjoy each other's company, and eventually we did move in together. We've been together 3 years. You know, the fact that I actually still enjoy his company on a daily basis, and thank God, since COVID hit, that's a real test of a relationship. But it has to do with communication, absolute honesty, saying, that could you not put your spoon on the thing? Would you mind? Just little things, but communication, and that's an innocuous example. But things that are even more important, stuff needs to be talked about. When one of the things that I'm working with my clients, I have people in relationships forever, and one of the things we talked about is that you've been together 25 years, 30 years. There's a lot of baggage there that can creep in and slap you guys around. So you really have to want to be on the same page and work through it, or just be content to parallel play till the end of your life. It's no judgment, zero judgment either way,
Yeah, no, I
but to
like
really be conscious.
Well, you brought up another point, or you cued another point in me, and that is somebody who is just fixated on their past.
Oh my gosh. They're living in the story.
Hmm.
And this happens, let me just tell you, going back to the very beginning of the conversation, I broke one of my own rules. I never would meet for tea or coffee unless I'd heard the man's voice, because I can tell a lot. It's what I do for a living. I can tell a lot. And I didn't. I thought he was so charming and so clever in his emails and texts. And I got there and it was like, so are you terribly, what is it? Are you resentful and angry about your divorce? And so what he's telling me, what he's mirroring to me or projecting is he's resentful and angry about his divorce, which happened 4 years ago. And then our entire coffee and tea was all about his past relationship. And he saved me days, months, years of pain by in that first, Maya Angelou says, people will tell you who they are. Listen the first time.
Yep, yep, great quote. I know I love her.
Yeah, I totally butchered it. I'm sorry, Angela. But you get the point.
She forgives you.
No,
No, I
she's real
think we know
wonderful.
what you mean, and you're right. You're right. And that brings us to another red flag. Again, when you said being in a restaurant, and this is a biggie for me. How they treat other people, especially wait staff.
Oh, I just got the chills. This is it sounds so simple, but how they treat wait staff, somebody who is not in power, like they have power over them, how they treat their employees, how they treat a homeless person on the street, they will tell you who they are in their behavior. Again, listen, and it would be like, out, I'm done. There's not even a second chance on that one. You treat people with respect,
Yeah.
which means that they treat themselves with respect,
Hmm.
and they treat me with respect.
Yeah.
Because if they're doing that to other people, there's something in themselves that they don't like, and they're trying to maneuver a subconscious power or feel better about themselves or superior. And so a huge red flag. I'm
Yeah,
glad you brought that one up.
it's in my estimation, it's also indicative that this will move on. You will be treated like this eventually, because
Eventually.
a lot of times there are people that just charming and treat you wonderful, and then all of a sudden turn around and just I mean,
Well,
to where it's like black and white, and you think, well,
yeah, well,
it's
that could be a narcissist, or it could just be a very, very self-centered person. But I want to say, and this is not my own line, but stop picking up the crumbs that they're giving you and treating it like a banquet. You are deserving of the frickin' banquet, from salad to dessert. And you're the only one. You know, we teach people how to treat us. Again, not my words, and most everything ever being said is not an original anymore. We've been around for so long in recorded history. But seriously,
no, it
we
is. Well,
teach
and I
people.
I always say that people treat you the way you allow them to treat. Same thing.
Yes,
It's
yes,
you are in control of how you're going to be treated. But yeah, another big red flag. It's certainly
yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And then another one, somebody who cannot take responsibility for their actions.
Oh, that's interesting too, because that's sort of a double one also. Somebody who can't take responsibility for their actions means that they can't apologize, and that's huge. If I'm wrong, I'm going to say, "Wow, I'm really sorry. Thanks for pointing that out. I will try and do better next time, or I will do better next time." But the other part of that is the person who really needs to be right, which is a more intense version of that. They just need to be right about everything. They're never freaking wrong.
Right.
And it has to do with if they're wrong, then they cease to exist. I mean, it's really deep stuff that I'm throwing out there. It takes a really emotionally intelligent person to be curious about what the other person is saying, to be able to say, wow, you're totally right. I completely did that. Or, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think that's my stuff. That might be something, that you're projecting, or I don't know. Let's talk about it. That's completely different than I'm right, you're wrong, go sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
that's
wouldn't
something
work for
that,
me.
yeah, that's something that'll creep up, usually in a few weeks or months. It creeps up fairly on, maybe not on the first or second date, but yeah, if you can't take responsibility and you're never wrong, that just does not work out in a relationship. Don't waste your time. Talking
And
about, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that something that you said triggered something in my head, which is we almost have to be detectives, like sleuths, not from a place of judgment, because whoever that person is, it's completely fine. But is that person for you? Does that person fit into your moral code? Would that person fit into your life and your ideas and ideals? I mentioned something about thinking I was part Cherokee Indian my entire freaking life. And I said, and then I find out that I'm like 99.9% white, Caucasian, rice on
How
marshmallows
boring.
with cream. I know, completely boring. He goes, oh, no, I like that. If I had heard, and there's a little clunk, I went, oh, that's interesting. It turns out he was incredibly racist, and that's not going to work in my life. It's just, I mean, you want to talk about a red flag and a deal breaker for me, you know? Somebody else might go, yeah, that's my guy. What's his number? I don't know.
Oh, you're
So
so
no
funny,
judgment.
Jody. Uh, I hope we gave you something to think about. I'd love to hear from our viewers what you think. What have been some red flags for you that you can share? We usually get these blogs developing on the bottom of our video, and you're wonderful to jump in and talk with our viewers too for questions. So, yeah, think about that. Joni, is there anything else before we close out that another red
Well, we
flag?
didn't cover everything. The most important thing is to the most important thing is to listen to your gut, to listen to that little voice inside and really trust yourself. And we're all learning. We're all building our self-esteem. We're all getting stronger. Somebody might look at you and me and go, well, yeah, it's fine for them. They got da da da. I wasn't like this before. I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of education and experiential stuff, and it's what I do for a living. So, got to walk my talk. So don't worry. Wherever you are in life, it's fine. It's perfect. Go for it. That's all.
Terrific, terrific. Well, Joni, as always, we will link to all of your information. I encourage
Yay.
anyone to get in touch with Joni directly if you so choose to your podcast. And I look forward to talking with you on our next segment of Second Act TV.
Thank you. They can actually go to spiritualaliveness.org if they want to talk to me directly. There's a complimentary session if they want.
Oh, terrific. Yes, of
Schedule
course. We'll
themselves
link,
in.
I'll link to that. I'll link to
That's
that
like
as
my
well.
favorite thing to do. Talk to
Good,
people.
good. Joni, thanks.
Thanks.
I'll see you next time. Bye.
All right, babe. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. The button is right over here. Just click on through to YouTube. When you see the little bell right next to the subscribe button, hit that too, and we'll notify you every time we launch a new video. See you next time.